Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told out of voice radio. So today, we need to talk about that Mewtwo V. Now, a bunch of you have got in touch with me about this Mewtwo V. This one is a bit more awkward. Now, we talked about Blastoise the other day, Radiant Blastoise from Pokémon Go, and I told you that I'd done a bunch of digging, and I had convinced myself that it was absolutely 100% real. I had no doubts. I also believe this Mewtwo to be real, but whereas with the Blastoise, we had somebody who was like, hey, I've pulled it, and then went and did a public sale and all of that, so we were like, okay, this is fine. The Mewtwo, less so. This was posted on, well, I saw it on Reddit, posted by D. Morgan over on Reddit, and this one, I believe it to be real, let's be clear. I believe this Mewtwo V to be real, and I have good reason to believe that it is real. I am not 100% convinced like I am with Blastoise. This one's more of a 90% for me. I mean, for one thing, and this is pretty significant, there's no texturing around the sides of the Mewtwo. And generally speaking, these full art alternate art cards, they have texturing around the border. That is a little bit weird to me. That is something that does need to be pointed out. But I think this is right. I think this is real. And I think it's time we had a chat about it. So what is it? Well, at the risk of sounding obvious, it's an alternate art of Mewtwo V. It is a Mewtwo V from Pokémon Go, and it is an alternate art special art. And this tells us something very important. There are alternate arts of Pokémon V in the set, which I know sounds a little bit reductive, but it's actually not, because that's kind of important. This is something we didn't know before. This is kind of big news. Now remember, if we take something as an example, let's go to Astral Radiance. We actually have to use Machamp here. In the V, we've got both the regular and we've got the full art. But the V Max, we just have Rainbow Rare. We don't do alternate arts of V Maxes. So the V, you've got the regular, the full art, and the alternate art. But the V Max and V Star, you've just got the regular and the Rainbow Rare. I actually really wanted to use Dialga as an example here, but remember, the full art of Dialga is actually just weirdly missing from the set. That was taken out along with the full art of Palkia, so kind of had to use Machamp. It's the only Pokemon in Astral Radiance that has a Pokemon V with an alternate art, and then has a V Max or a V Star, so it had to be Machamp. So with Mewtwo here, we know we're getting Mewtwo V-Star. We'll look at this more later. So basically, we should be expecting, if this works like a regular set, we would be expecting regular Mewtwo, full art Mewtwo, alternate art Mewtwo, regular Mewtwo V-Star, and Rainbow Rare Mewtwo V-Star. And actually, yeah, we've got the regular Mewtwo. We've seen that already. Now, the full art Mewtwo isn't actually in the set for us. It's been taken out to put in the Elite Trainer box, though I would expect it to be in the set proper over in Japan. And then we've got the alternate art as seen here. That all makes perfect sense. That tracks, frankly. And then in terms of the V-Star, we've seen the regular. Is there going to be a Rainbow Rare? I don't know. I would assume so. I would expect so. But remember, Pokemon Go isn't a regular set. It's not a normal set. It's a smaller set. It's a mini set. It's a special set. You know, generally we get sets on February, May, August, November, and this is coming out on the 1st of July. In Japan, it's actually coming out 2 weeks earlier in the middle of June. So my point here is that we can't guarantee all of that. It's why the alternate art of Mewtwo V is so important, because actually we didn't know if we were going to be getting this. Now, there is actually a proper alternate art of Mewtwo, because it's coming in the V Battle deck, and there is just an alternate art version of it. It's not a special art or anything like that. It's literally just different artwork. And then that raises questions about other Pokemon. Of course, we've got both Alolan Executor and Melmetal that are coming in the set. And Alolan Executor has an alternate art in its own box, and Melmetal has an alternate art in the V Battle deck. Could they be getting alternate arts? As a side note, I would expect Melmetal to. Obviously, you know, Mewtwo's like the big Gen 1 Pokemon, it's pride of place on the booster pack, etc. But Melmetal is, well, it's Melmetal. Melmetal is like the Pokemon Go Pokemon, so if they are giving out alternate arts of Pokemon V in the set, I would expect Melmetal to get one. No guarantee or anything silly like that, but I would expect Melmetal to get one. We saw Conkeldurr the other day, so that's kind of interesting. That could have one. We know that there is going to be a Dragonite V and V-Star, though they haven't yet been shown off. These are all Pokemon that could get alternate arts. We'll have to wait and see. I kind of want Conkeldurr to get one, honestly, because Conkeldurr gets, like, no love in the TCG. You know, it getting a Pokemon V in Pokemon Go is huge, because it never gets any love whatsoever. So, yeah. That would be kind of nice. And what this really does, as I've said, is confirm the existence of alternate art cards, and then the question is who else gets one. I would imagine it won't just be Mewtwo, but similarly I imagine it wouldn't be everyone. You know, over in Astral Radiance, as an example, there are a bunch of lovely alternate arts. Sneasler, a particular favourite of mine, but there isn't one for Heatran, or Hisuian Samurott, or Luxray. I'm just showing you full arts, because they do have full arts. There's a few others as well, but they don't have the alternate arts. So I wouldn't expect all the ones here to as well. But then again, if we are following the way regular sets tend to work, and like I say, I know this isn't a regular set, but as soon as you start telling me that we're going to be having alternate art Vs, that makes me think that the Vs and V-Stars are going to be roughly following what we see in the sets normally. Then does that mean that they're all going to be getting a full art? We know that Mewtwo's getting a full art. We don't know about the rest. Now, for what it's worth, the set comes out on the 17th of June over in Japan. That is 2 weeks from this coming Friday. At that point, we will know all of the secret rares that are coming in the Japanese set, because at that point the set will actually be out in stores, it'll be out to buy. That is a point at which we will know what's in the set, and we will know all of the secret rares. The set as a whole will be released next Friday on the official website on the 10th, or at least that's the way it always goes, but that doesn't include the secret rares, so you're going to have to hold off on that one just a little bit. But we've got full art Mewtwo, we've got alternate art Mewtwo. It really does look like they're just following the regular set pattern of these get full arts, and some of them get alternate arts, but not all. And that would surely mean that the V-Star get rainbow rares as well, because the Mewtwo V-Star looks really, really good. I'm a huge fan of it. 2 energy, 90 damage for each psychic energy discarded from your Pokemon, up to a maximum of 3. But that's enough, quite frankly. That's all you need, because that's 270. Add a choice bout and you're up to 300, which is as much as you will ever need to do against anything but a VMAX. And then you start adding in Radiant Hawlucha, you go up to 330, and there'll be the odd Pokemon VMAX here or there that will survive with 10 HP remaining. You can do the extra 10 HP. You'll be fine, ladies and gentlemen. You will be fine. So this looks really good. Plus 2 energy, you get to do 120 to each of your opponent's Pokemon V. And yes, that does include both VMAX and V-Star. I really do think that this is, like, legitimately good. I think Mewtwo V-Star could be a real power in the game. So, you know, getting this alternate art and getting a Rainbow Rare V-Star, that would be really cool. So then we ask the question of, well, okay, hang on a second. How do we feel about this alternate art? And the answer is not good. Yes, I know it evokes an early Pokemon Go commercial, and yes, I know it evokes the final scene from Detective Pikachu. It's a movie I'm incredibly fond of. But the fact of the matter is, it's just not that good. Like, it's a CG render. And it shows us basically what we've seen from Mewtwo before. And, you know, I mentioned that Hisuian Sneasler earlier. I mentioned Dialga V earlier. You know, I know you're talking about Okacheke and Arita, who are, you know, absolute masters of the craft, but that's what I want from alternate arts. And I'm sorry, I don't really think many of you, and correct me in the comment section if you think I'm wrong about this, I don't think many people are looking at that Mewtwo and going, oh, that's so much better than the Dialga and Sneasler, because I don't think it is. I think actually what seems to be happening with the alternate arts at the moment is Pokemon are just taking really phenomenal artists and going, here's a Pokemon, go nuts, do what you want. And we are getting, and I mean this sincerely with not a hint of exaggeration or hyperbole, the best artwork we've ever had in the Pokemon TCG. It is over the top, awesome, brilliant, wonderful, crazy good stuff. And I don't think this Mewtwo's on the same level. And that's not to say the Mewtwo's bad, but I look at the Beedrill from Astral Radiance and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's a swarm of Beedrill going over a big field of flowers. Look how adorable that is. I look at the Mewtwo and I'm like, oh, it's kind of like in the advert. And it's kind of like in Detective Pikachu. And it's a 3D render of Mewtwo. It's not the same, ladies and gentlemen. It's not the same. Now, once again, I am not guaranteeing that this is 100% on the level. Like I've said, the art being 3D is disappointing, and the fact that there's no texture around the border is weird to me and a bit unusual. With the Blastoise, we had the whole person putting it out there and selling it and all of that really added the legitimacy. We don't have that from Mewtwo. I didn't say this earlier in the video, so let me make it clear now. This was also pulled from a pack of Astral Radiance, so essentially what's happening is there are certain cards, and there probably won't be a huge amount of them, but there are certain cards that are sneaking their way into Astral Radiance packs. We've seen 2 so far. I'm hearing rumblings of a third, but that one I am not ready to make a video about yet, for fairly obvious reasons. I'm not doing anything until I believe it. But it seems like something happened in the factory, and it's rare, because a lot of Astral Radiance has been opened at this stage, now the set is out. It's rare, but there are a few of these cards sneaking their way into Astral Radiance packs, and I kind of want to see some more at this stage. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about all of this. I want to know how excited you are. I want to know anything you want to tell me, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.